being joined by the world champion who has won his match already. We'll bring in Tanya to quiz Magnus on it. Magnus, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tanya, all yours.
Congrats on that match win, Magnus. Things could not have gone better, wrapping it up in 3 games.
Yeah, sure. I think the games were of sort of dubious quality, but obviously.
Magnus, you said that after winning 9 matches in the preliminaries that you're not happy with the quality of the games, and then you come in for the semis and you sort of cruise through your way with a 3-game victory. Still not happy with the exact quality of play. What does it take for you to be happy with the way you played and the result?
I always aim for more. I think that's the main takeaway.
And I think that's also the main takeaway why you keep delivering. Okay, let's get to the games, Magnus, because and jump straight to game 1. I think the defining moment for all of us was right here when you went G5, and it's a bold decision, and I have to say, for mere mortals like myself, it's not a move that comes to mind, especially with this bishop on B2, dark square weaknesses. But you played it and you made it work. What made you decide to play G5 at this point?
Well, the thing was, if I do something like knight C5, I thought he's going to go G5 himself, and it sort of I felt like even though I'm a pawn up and probably I'm doing pretty well, I just didn't really see how to clarify the position. So G5 was really an attempt just to clarify. I felt that I'm getting so many squares from my pieces that I cannot be doing too poorly. I mean I checked briefly that the computer thinks otherwise, but I felt that yeah, the long diagonal is not that big an issue because it's getting close. So it's really a question, like after FG, Queen G5, whether he can get to my queen, and apparently he can, but it's not that easy.
Did you calculate the knight F5 option here? Because we were checking it a little bit with the engine, and rook F5 was a big blunder. We'll get to that. But did you check out knight F5 during the game?
Yeah, I saw that knight F5 was an option. I thought I'd go knight E5 and hope for the best. That was my calculation.
Knight E5 and H4 was the line that was given. And just going forward with this, just want to know what your evaluation of this last position would be had it appeared after you take on G4, trade off the queens, and bishop E2, which of course is an engine move, very difficult to find over the board. But now looking at this position, how do you like it?
I mean, at first sight, it looks very good for black after knight E5, but I mean, I'm not going to argue with engine lines.
Right.
Maybe there is some knight
yeah,
H.
I think the point is knight H6 check here, I guess.
And take F7, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And the annoying thing is, I think I even saw this and somehow just couldn't believe it was any good. But I'm sort of more upset I didn't see H4. Because considering my approach to this game, I should have been sort of calculating every single pawn sacrifice in every position. And I think after G5, I thought for like 5 minutes, and I almost played it. I just couldn't make it work. I was planning to play E5 here. Just kind of, because it continues, the spiritual approach to the game. Like we don't take anything, we just give stuff away. And but I just couldn't make it work after GF, GFG. Basically, this is what was bringing me down, because I have bishop.
Yeah, I couldn't actually see it either.
Yeah, like bishop H7, King H7, Rook F7, King G8, and I have Queen D3. But I think after GH2, Black starts giving his own checks, and I eventually lose.
Yeah, I don't think this is.
Yeah, this is what I spent all my time on. But if I'm calculating this, I should also be considering h4 after queen takes g5, because it's also a move that gives additional material away. And this is kind of upsetting that it never crossed my mind that I can play this. And apparently it is quite decent. Obviously, the previous play is incorrect. There's no way this works out for white in general. I'm pretty sure I was close to lost earlier, but I think since I chose this approach quite consciously, it's annoying that I did miss basically my one chance that you sometimes get when you do these things.
And Peter, here, instead you went for rook f5.
That was just desperation. I knew it wasn't good, but I just couldn't. I couldn't see what to do, and I was running very, very short on time at this point. And I knew it was a bad move, but I just didn't see anything good. And yeah, I should have played knight f5, because honestly, like knight f5 and h4, I actually considered. And yeah, I should have just done that and sort of taken it from there.
And Magnus, seeing rook f5 on the board, you felt it was a big mistake?
I didn't have an opinion whether it was a mistake or not. I just thought my position was very good after it. So to evaluate it as a mistake or not didn't really care. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Peter. After queen rook f5, white is just considerably worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to come back after this queen e3, knight e5. And in game 2 of the match, Peter, it was
yeah, that was a fun one. Game 3, we should probably not talk about it at all. But game 2 was interesting. And in particular, I wanted to ask Magnus, because I had this option. I don't think I've ever had this material. Yeah.
No, I actually thought about it during the game myself. I don't think I ever in any game has had 4 pieces against the queen.
Yeah, I almost did it, but I honestly, like, I thought what I'm getting in the game is quite good, and I decided that, you know, my curiosity is not that important, you know, to sate in this particular match situation. There's also queen c7. Like, there's a choice also. Two things were bugging me. First of all, this, and also instead of queen d2, Magnus has queen c7 there, which is not stupid. And also some kind of a really strange position, like rook e2, queen b7, castles, queen takes a6, rook b8, I guess. And who knows what this is either. I have no idea what this is.
But this could be, this looks playable at the very least.
Yeah, but I think 4 pieces against the everything is also playable, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think, like, I probably should have just done this for science, you know, like they say in other esports, you know, just do this for science, because it's just such an interesting material imbalance that I should have just gone for this purely on that reasoning. Although I suspect, you know, the queen will end up being the queen in the final count somehow. But yeah, that would have been interesting. But the end game I got, I also probably overestimated a little bit. I thought I might be better. Maybe I even was better somewhere, but I didn't check any of that.
No, I find it hard to believe that you're better. I think like equal is more realistic.
Yeah, I think around equality. Like I was fairly sure I should never be worse, but whether I'm better anywhere, I couldn't really figure it out. But
yeah,
I was
at
reasonably...
the end I missed rook c2 to b2, but I suppose it doesn't make any.
Yeah, I don't think I'm worse anyway. I think I should be fine there anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
The bishops are just a little bit too strong for me to be worse here. But yeah, that was an interesting game, and it's a pity I didn't take on b3 in some respects, because it would have been fun to play that position.
Yeah.
Indeed, a very complex and combative play. And I was actually going to ask you, both of you, that whether it was just compensation or more than that after the sacrifice. But as you said, Peter, that you felt that you might have overestimated it, and Magnus saying that Magnus, did you always feel like it was just compensation and not more than that for Black?
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was that worrying. I was certainly worried that I misplayed, but I didn't feel ever that I was actually worse.
Right,
Let's
and Peter, sorry, go on.
The game of chess we have going, because that's pretty interesting, I feel.
Yeah, that is.
I do have a question for Peter before we go on to that. Peter, it's a best of 3 match, and match 1 didn't go according to plan. In such a format, what's the takeaway from this match going into day 2?
I don't think, honestly, it will sound very stupid because I lost 2 games with white and didn't really feel like I was in it very much. But I think the concept might not be all that bad. I think the execution was what was kind of sorely lacking today, not the idea behind what I was doing. I tried playing quiet positions in the round robin, and I ended up losing -1, but that was only because Magnus just flat out refused to win winning positions throughout the match. So I think going for messier stuff is not such a stupid idea at all.
All right, well, we look forward to all the mess. And Magnus, I'll hand it over to Jan and Sasha and Erwin to analyze the game. But before I go, last question. In the second semi-final match between Jan and Anish, your predictions of this match, who will be the player to make it to the finals?
I'm taking Jan.
Yeah, that doesn't seem a very bold choice at this
No,
point,
but
I agree.
I actually suspected I might get asked today, and that answer was prepared before the round started. So I feel slightly less hypocritical than usual on this, because I honestly gave it some thought and I had an answer ready.
Magnus, what about you?
I do feel like this is a bit of a grudge match, since I know that Jan was very upset about losing to Anish in the Chessable Masters. So in that sense, I feel like he's going to be probably the most geared up for this match, and might give him an advantage. And besides that, he's one game up, and in this game he's at the very least 13 minutes up on the clock, which should mean something, and I suspect he may just be winning as well. Who knows? Yeah,
I couldn't see it. Queen G1 looked wrong, but also I don't see an immediate refutation. If we go knight c3, there is knight b5. Otherwise, I think knight c3 would just be winning, but there is knight b5 stopping queen b2, and it's not that easy to enter. And that gives white a couple of tempi to maybe solidify. So it's probably trickier than I originally felt, because I actually looked at this line recently and I can't remember anything. This is very upsetting.
Maybe just queen f6.
Queen f6 rook c2, I think, is the point. Yeah.
Oh, that's the point. I thought because bishop d3 there was maybe queen f4, but still rook c2.
Yeah, I think this is how he wants to set up, with the rook on c2 covering all of the important checking squares.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And then he will start, because the pawns on c4 and d5 still present a good shield. Sometimes b3 might be a move, you know. It feels slightly off topic, but just go. I don't know if it's immediately here, but even here it might not be so stupid. With the intention of opening the second front, like a b a4. Yeah, just go a4 here and say, okay, now you have to think about more things on 2 minutes. It's definitely an interesting practical decision, at least. I don't know if it's any good, but
maybe rook h3.
Yeah, I did miss that, but
okay. But anyway, let's make the two Jans figure it out.